And away we go.
All right, so how's it been going so far?
Life, my day's been going great.
Yeah, same here. I'm not gonna lie, it snowed earlier today, but clearly it wasn't enough because the snow is melting now. Well, some of it is
Yeah.
freezing, but some of it is melting. But
Well, at least you are getting snow. All I'm getting is heaps of rain.
I'm very sorry to hear that. But you know, that's not that's not important. Like for the most part, whether it's snow or rain. What's in the
It's
news?
not. It's not the end of the world.
That's true. That's true. So what's in the news today?
Well, just before starting recording, I stumbled upon a TikTok sideshow. There's a poll that shows Britain's favourite modern prime minister. Who do you think has been the best prime minister in the past 40 years? Well, the subject of the post, people are saying that Margaret Thatcher, amongst Labour voters, Margaret Thatcher, there's a high percentage of people of Labour voters saying Margaret Thatcher has been a better prime minister in the past 40 years than Starmer has,
Mm, how
which
come?
is that is shocking because you know how I think we have mentioned Margaret Thatcher at some point, and Risk is a big fan of Margaret Thatcher, of course. I don't blame him, but it's really shocking that there's a higher percentage of Labour voters saying Margaret Thatcher has been a better prime minister than Keir Starmer.
Hmm.
That just blows my mind.
Hmm. How come it blows your mind?
Thing is, Keir Starmer is the current leader of the Labour Party, so you would expect more Labour voters saying that Labour leaders, Labour prime ministers, have done a better job for the UK. Margaret Thatcher was once the leader for the Conservative Party, which is on the right, whilst Labour is on the left. So to have a Conservative leader favoured more by Labour voters than they favour the current Labour leader, that's what's shocking. Because you would thought whoever's voting for their favourite party would back the leaders that's part of that party, not their opposition. But it's just shocking how this poll says otherwise.
Okay, I see what you mean now. So pretty much it's like, the people who you would think that they would support a party wasn't really supporting a party because they just didn't like the person in general.
Exactly. There's a difference between what the values of the party is and the values of the person in that party.
Ah, okay. I see. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that is definitely weird. It is definitely like, a weird thing to like, that is definitely weird. I will say that. It's definitely weird. It's like, because of the person. So what you're is also what you're trying to say is like, the person part of the party does not embody the values of the party.
Yes, just because you vote for a party in the last election doesn't mean you're always going to support the party. People would vote for a party because hearing out what they have to offer when they get in power has convinced the voter in question to vote for them. And actually, there was actually a time, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I know Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, so before he became president of the United States as part of the Republican Party, Ronald Reagan actually supported the Democrats. And the thing is, Ronald Reagan has said that his favorite president is FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was a Democrat. However, the reason he said he switched over to Republican because he believes that the values of the Democrat Party has changed to the point he doesn't favor the Democrats so much anymore. So he
Hmm.
switched to Republican because that's the party Ronald Reagan says has values that's close to what he agrees with.
I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if Ronald Reagan would support today, like modern day like Republicans. I wonder, or would he just be,
Yeah,
or would he just be
I do too.
independent, or would he just be independent? Because it's like, I'm not gonna lie. Like the Republicans of like his time are definitely not the same Republicans of today's time. I feel like
Yes,
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, yeah, that's true. It's to see. It's interesting to see if if former presidents still support their parties today, because just like how the Democrats has changed for Ronald Reagan, likewise, how much the parties then changed to how much they changed up until today.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure with the Republicans back then, it's like they had specific values that like he agreed with, which is why which is why he changed his party, his
Yes.
from the Democrat to Republican. So, and since some of the things in the Republican Party are probably think I don't really know how Ronald Reagan's mind was, but I'm pretty sure there were definitely better values in the Republican Party back then than the values that they are today. I mean, there were probably less like certain things that are tolerated today by the Republican Party that they wouldn't have tolerated back then. I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason why he aligned himself with the Republican Party to begin with, because it's not only because he supported their political agenda, but also like the values that they held in general, which is probably what turned him off about the Democratic Party. So, I do wonder if he would support today's Republican Party if he was still with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, me personally, it's like I just can't seem to like agree with any of the parties because they're both wicked in their ways. They're both corrupt in their ways. Like whether if you want to admit it or not, each party is corrupted in a way. So it's like you really can't trust it completely. I mean, if you want to compromise and say which party is is better, I would say like so far, based on this election, I would say the the Republican Party looked better by comparison because it's like they had everything under control. It's like if I were to compromise, I'd say by comparison, the Democratic Party looked better. Sorry, Republican, not Democratic. But yeah, and the Democratic Party was pretty much floundering this year because it's like they had to rush everything.
Yes. It's actually got to a point now that instead of getting into government to put in place what you want to provide for the country, it's now just going back and forth saying, just villainize their opposition. And that's likewise the recent presidential US election. It's not about which candidate would provide the best values for the Democrat Party or aligns more with the values of the Democrats. It's been, we're not Trump. Trump bad man. We we're going to reverse what Trump has put in place. That's what it feels like to me. Like it's more about villainizing the opposition rather than telling people what your plans are once you get in.
Yeah, and that's not a great thing to have. It's like yeah, sure, you can if you want to villainize a person, you can if you want to. That's your free
You don't
will.
have to agree with them.
Yeah, you don't have to agree with him, but it's like ultimately speaking, it's like you have to make valid points on why this person is not the best pick for the president. You're just insulting the guy. It's like, okay. And some people are like, yeah, but other people are like, okay, give me more points. More people want to actually be convinced on why I should not trust this guy. I mean,
Yeah,
other than him being a felon, I guess. What else do you have? I mean,
exactly.
what else do you really have? And other than his alleged acts from years ago with a woman, and I say alleged because I'm pretty sure, I think they've been proven to not be true, but I'm not really 100% sure. But I would say his alleged acts, from years ago with a alleged victim. I mean, I'd say whether if that's true or not, if it's not true, then that point is out of just out. But if it is true, then okay, that's a point. But it's like, what else do you got though? What's your policies? What's your views? What exactly are you going to promise the people? These stuff matter. These stuff honestly matter. And it's like if you're not gonna really give me any good points, and you're just gonna vilify a man for existing and not really have a real rebuttal politically, then what's the point? Then simply what's the point of you even running? I mean, if you're just gonna get celebrities to endorse you and do all that stuff, that's fine. But give me a reason to vote for you. Give me a reason to believe in you. You know, just like people who worship Trump, give them although that's idolatry, no one should do that. They believe in Trump. They believe in Trump to be the savior for America. People have a reason to believe in Trump. Although I don't believe in Trump, I can see why those people believe in Trump. I believe that
Yeah,
I believe Trump will do certain things, definitely, but I don't believe he'll do everything. I don't believe that he can. I don't believe that in 4 years the country will be 100% fine or 100. It's always going to have its flaws, and there's always going to be things that even the Republicans disagree with him doing. But ultimately speaking, people have a reason to believe in him.
indeed.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're not giving people a reason to believe in you from a political standpoint, whether if they're idolaters or not, if you're not giving if you're not giving if you're not giving a person a reason to vote for you and say, okay, I'm gonna vote for this person, even if you're not giving them a reason to, definitely not giving me a reason to. So I mean, it just all comes down to that.
Indeed.
Yeah. But what else is in the news?
NASA finalizes strategy for human presence in space. Yep, we all know where this is going.
I wonder,
Me too.
is there even really a space?
Or is it just an illusion?
That's what. Yeah, it's like it's hard for me to believe that. I mean, even if there is a space, can we even really get to it? That's the question.
Can we escape the stratosphere?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm wondering. Can we really escape the stratosphere? Can we really break the firmament? Can we really do this and that, etc.? Can we really go in space? Because I'm willing to believe that there is a space out there. I'm willing to believe that there is. I know that there's a universe. I know that there's a universe, and I'm willing to believe that there is a space. But the real question is, can we really get to that space? Can we really get out of this firmament? Can we really break through it with ease and go into
Yeah,
space? Because I'm not gonna lie, if we can't go into space, if there's actually no real space, then bro, the job of an astronaut is just simply to sit there. I'm not going to downplay an astronaut. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they do a whole lot more than just go into space. But you know, I'm just saying, like, isn't being an astronaut just a waste of time? Then, if there's nothing there, I do wonder if they're just lying about space. And if they're not lying about space, then that's great. But the real question is, can we get to it?
that is a very good question.
Because it's like I just question that. I question it. I'm willing to believe that there is a space, no question. So it's but can we get to it?
Yes, and we're not talking about the International Space Station that just floats within the stratosphere with all the Russian and other American and possibly generic European astronauts. We're talking about outside the atmosphere of Earth, like the vacuum of space.
Yeah, and also I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they made up. I feel a part of me is starting to believe that the planet Uranus. I feel like that was a sick joke that they just made because
Yeah,
it's like they knew what they were doing when they named that planet Uranus, and it's
yeah,
like
loads of jokes were made since then.
yeah, it's like people were like let's I feel like a certain group of people were like let's call one of the planets Uranus and let's see how many people take this seriously, and a lot of people don't take it seriously, but a lot of people
Of
believe
course
it's
they
real
don't.
because
It's so stupid.
it's called Uranus.
I prefer to call it Uranus.
That would have been a believable name.
Yes, because at least it just feels like a vibe.
Uranus.
Uranus. Yes.
Uranus. Yeah, actually,
Uranus.
I actually like that name better. I can take that name a little bit more seriously than you.
Yeah, it has a nice ring to it.
It really does. I mean, I mean, if they really wanted to, have us take that planet seriously, they should have named it that.
Yes.
I mean, because come on, man, it's like the jokes that have been made throughout the years with Uranus, even in cartoons.
Yep. The cartoons was certainly something.
I mean, and the and the sitcoms and all that stuff, man. It's just Jeez. But at the end of the day, a lot of people take it seriously, and for the most part, I'm not knocking them for it, but at the same time, it's like okay, it's like you really have to ask yourself that question: Is this real? Is this actually a thing? Can we actually get to space? Can we actually see these planets instead of schools telling us that these planets exist? Because it's like we haven't. None of us have really been to these planets. None of us have really been to these places. So it's like,
Yeah, and
oh
also
yeah,
we haven't seen, well, with the exception of the 60s, we haven't seen any photographic or video evidence that you can move about in outer space. That whatever the research says that we can inhabit other planets, that it is possible to inhabit other planets. Until then, we still on the question, can we get out of Earth?
yeah. Honestly, I don't believe that we can, at least at this moment in time. But and I'm pretty sure there were some people who were like Hillary Clinton who was making references to breaking the firmament too, and it's like it's like they're trying, but no, you can't really break. They can't really break it. Is what I'm trying to say. They can't break through to truly see what's there. And even I'm pretty sure even Elon Musk he launched a rocket, correct? And it the
He did,
rocket failed.
yes.
Yeah, the rocket failed because it's like it couldn't get through. At least that's what I think, right? It just
Yeah, I've
yeah,
I've seen I've seen a recent SpaceX launch where there's at least one part that is detachable. So at launch, from takeoff, there's the bottom that has the boosters, and then by the time it gets to a certain altitude, the bottom half of the rocket detaches, and then there's other thrusts underneath the smaller part, the upper half, that then activates to propel itself further into space.
mm,
Because the thing is, we don't know how much power it's going to take to get to that height. So there has to be different sections with its own fuel supply to boost the rocket up at different altitudes and then to then eventually propel out of space.
that's true. That is true. And so with this space thing, it's like okay, I just really say okay because it's like oh, I mean if you can get to space, that's great. But if you can't, then you're pretty much just lying to us. I mean, shoot, I'm pretty sure there are people who were extremely skeptical about the first man who landed on the moon too. I mean, that could have easily just been faked, and I'm pretty sure in some instances, I don't know if there's a video out there of the what's his name again, who apparently was the first man on the moon, Arnold.
Neil
Yeah,
Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong. Yeah, I would say I would pretty much say yeah, it's him being the first man on the moon. It's people pointed out great skepticisms. It's why? I'm pretty sure there was this one Italian guy who's like, why is there a camera on the moon set up like this? It's like, how did they do that exactly? I mean, yeah,
And why was it a big deal for the United States to send a man on the moon?
yeah. Why was it?
Was it to try to prove that the US is a better nation in terms of space exploration?
I,
I think that's most possible actually, because by the time the first man landed on the moon, supposedly, the Cold War was going on between the US and the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union beat the US in every metric in terms of space exploration. To say they landed on the moon, they believe is all it takes to win the space race. And left it at that.
mm, wait, to win a space race?
Yes, there's a space race that happened around the 50s and 60s. So the Soviet Union sent the first man into space, the first pet into space, and also the first woman into space. That's at least from the top of my head.
The first women into space.
Yes, the first woman to ever go somewhere in space. And this was like late 50s at the latest.
Wow, just wow. Okay, I mean, even I didn't know that, but but women are just like men, and men are just like. But in this age, men are just like women. Wait,
And so on and so forth.
wait a minute. Hold on. Men can
What?
do. Did we flip the switch a bit? Like, cause it's like I don't know. Like in the fifth, in like the feast in the early '90s, it's like we were like saying how like men, like women are just like men or as capable as men. Now we're saying men are just like women. Did we flip the switch for? Did we kind of flip the switch a bit?
I have no idea.
Huh?
It's very strange. We never thought we people say these things until now.
Yeah. First, like it was like women trying to be like in the same position as men, but now it's like I don't know, men trying to be in the same position as women, like specifically in the LGBTQ community or the alphabet community. It's like what? Did we flip the?
Yeah, the tables have turned.
It, it's like not like wow.
It was
Is
bound to happen at some point,
it
and here
what?
we are. The tables have flipped
Yeah, that's true.
from many decades.
That is true. And I will say this, man. It's like oh no. I feel like in the early '90s we at least had a better we even if there was like gay rights and all that stuff, we at least had a better balance. I mean, it's like didn't have too much. We didn't have too much nor too little. Pretty much, it's like I feel like there was a balance at least. Like society was just still declining. It was mostly there. Now in the 2020s, it's like I don't know, man. It's like first, it's just really something to think about. It really is. It's like wow,
Yeah,
huh? The tables have really turned in the last like couple decades. It's crazy.
indeed.
I miss the early 2000s. The aesthetic was
Those were the days.
yeah, it's like the aesthetic, the technology.
The
When we
memories.
everything. When we had limit
Yeah,
when we had limited technology, I think it was better for society because it's like we didn't have too much nor too little, and like a lot of people didn't really care to like use filters, and like people were just having fun because it's like this was the new thing. And people were pretty much getting used to like the new technology and all that stuff. I'm not gonna say like we're gonna have less technology because we're only gonna become more advanced. But I'm just saying it's like don't you wish sometimes you can go back to that? I mean, it was simple. It's like we actually had to interact with one another, and on top of that, we needed one of those like phones to like plug into the walls and all that stuff in order to like get in contact with one another and make plans. Really think about it, man. It was simple. I mean, shoot, we used to have a house. We used to have a house phone, but we don't even have that anymore because, well, I mean, people use their regular phones. I mean, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure house phones are still like in use. Even me, like, look, if I didn't have a regular phone, I'd personally probably have a house phone, and I don't know, it would probably be in a shed somewhere with a bunch of other technology. Actually, no, the house phone would be in the house because I need to be in contact somehow, but other technologies would probably be in the shed somewhere in case like I need to use the computer or whatnot. But I don't really know what I would do honestly. But can't go back in time. You can only move forward
indeed.
unless they actually have something for that. Which look,
We're not going to know about in our lifetimes, at least,
I would
or
say
unless we're one of those people that has all the power and all the money. We can get away with it, whatever we want to get away with.
you know what? I'll give them until 2050. But
Seems fair.
dang, I just realized, man, there's gonna be a 2090, then 2099, then 21,000. Wow, that's crazy. Anyways, yeah, I would give them until I will give them until 2050 to come out with a time to like finally say here's the new time machine that you can use. But if that doesn't happen by 2050, then I'm just going to give up on it and say that okay, this is clearly not going to come out in our lifetime. It's going to come out in like our great grandchildren's lifetime. because it's like I'm just clearly gonna be dead before it ever comes out. So pretty much, you never really know. I don't know. I'd probably just go back in time and just watch and just just I don't know. Probably go back to when things were cheap, at least a little bit cheaper. I don't know, when Chinese food was more affordable. Cause you know how much I have to pay for that now in my neighborhood? Nine, nine
At least $20.
no, what I get is like $9.75. It used to be probably $6.
Ah, okay.
It was probably cheaper when I was way younger, but for the most part, it you know, it used to be like $6 and a couple of cents. Then it went to 7, then 8, then 9, and it's probably gonna go up to 10 something sooner than later. But I can't. I'm not saying I blame them because everything is just expensive now, so it's like they need to make more money. And I'm pretty sure some people are even renting out places too to run their businesses, so they have to charge a lot of money. So I can't say I necessarily blame them for that.
Yeah.
It's simply the economy that we live in. I don't know. I think eventually I will move from New York. I don't know. I love New York, but it's just expensive out here, man. It really is. But I'd have to
Oh
move.
yeah.
But I'd have to move to a state where it's at least the rent is reasonable. The stores are at least reasonable. I'd have to move somewhere where it's. I can't say it's gonna be cheap, but it'll be cheaper than New York, pretty much. Because New York is living. But yeah, uh,
Yeah.
that's that's what I got.
Fair enough.
Anything else in the news?
I've There's this TikTok video I saved because I found it quite interesting. They're on the so there's a person recording going left and right on the street. So on the left side of the street, there's Monaco, which is a city-state, which which is like home to a lot of billionaires. And then on the right of the street, from where he was recording, is France, which is give or take depending on the situation, but whatever it is in France is not as rich as Monaco. So it's it's quite a difference between Monaco with its affluent wealth and a billionaire's playground, they say it's known as, and then whatever is left of France next to Monaco, some people could ever wish for.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Very very interesting. Wow.
And the comments, oh, this is interesting. One comment said, taxes versus no taxes. Basically saying, if you live in a country with no taxes, you're bound to have a better quality of life and better infrastructure, etc. But if you live in a country with higher taxes, then conditions are not too great. It's not as decent as you think it might be.
Are there countries with no taxes?
Yeah, there's a few countries that part of it is tax free, like the UAE, for example, because in fact, that's the reason why the UAE is a popular tourist destination as well as a popular country to live in, because there isn't any form of income tax.
Ah.
Like, regardless how much money you make in the UAE or wherever you live, or anywhere you are, whilst living in the UAE, you don't pay any income tax to the UAE.
Okay, I can see why that would be very appealing.
Yes, because if more people have enough money in their pockets to buy whatever goods they want or purchase any service they like, then the circulation of money just strengthens and strengthens day by day, improving the services in question. Because even the businesses with enough money that they generate from people having to pay a lot of money because they have lots of money to begin with to get the goods and services, and then those businesses to spend the money wisely to improve the goods and services that they provide, it just gets better from there.
Yeah.
At the rate it is at, like, it only makes sense that you allow people to have enough money in their pockets to get whatever goods or service they want, and then for that for that organization or company that provides that good or service to have much wider opportunities for revenue coming from providing to those with mass amounts of wealth and then distribute the revenues to specific services or departments to improve the services and goods they provide, then more people would want to get more of that and possibly pay more money for it because you don't get something like that anywhere else.
Hmm. Yeah, once again, I can see why it would be very appealing, though. I mean, it sounds very, like, amazing. It does, it really
Yes,
does. And, I wouldn't blame anybody for taking advantage of of that opportunity if given it. So, I'd say, like, hey, kudos to them, though. Really, honestly, kudos to them. I mean, like,
absolutely.
clearly doing
Yes,
something right because, like, a lot of people are very invested and interested in them. So, I'd say, like, that's great to hear. Kudos.
indeed.
Hey, but is there anything else that
DC violent crimes dips 35% in 2024, reaches 30-year low.
wow, yikes, 30-year low.
Yeah, this decline is credited to community efforts and increased police presence. Residents report feeling safer in their neighborhoods. The data shows broader trends in urban crime rates across the nation.
Hmm. So they're doing pretty good.
Yes,
Wow.
and all because people in DC are getting together and actually providing the services and helping each other out themselves and not relying on the federal government to do it for them.
Wow.
When you can actually do something yourself
You see
if
now,
you with enough community effort.
now that's what a community is all about, man. This, like, you see, they don't need the government to do everything for them. They're doing it themselves, man, and it's all because, like, they're just getting up, doing it themselves, helping out each other. That's honestly how you should do it. And
Yes, good on them.
yeah, I mean, like, you wouldn't see that I don't believe you would see that anywhere else. And, like, the increase in police presence also, it's like, is also contributing to that. You said, right?
Can you repeat that?
Oh, you said, like, the increase in, like, the presence of the police are also
Yes, increased police presence.
okay. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, man,
Yeah,
that just proves it's like, man, the police is not all that bad because it's like clearly if it's causing their community to, like, help out each other and, like, do the right thing, then they're clearly doing something right. So, like, once again, kudos to them, and, like, may they prosper and may that percentage go up even more throughout the years.
yes.
What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, yeah, I'm like where it's going for DC, and especially the police presence, because one time I was visiting family in Brazil, like the city of Goiânia. I think my dad and a friend of his living in Goiânia, they went to a football soccer match, and there was tons of get this police, not just regular police, but it's the police peop it's a police force that has a military kind of structure. I'm not too sure about what military police works in Brazil, but there is military police in Brazil, and especially in the city where my family is from. During the football soccer match, there was tons of it in and out of the stadium, and even if something was to happen and something terrible was going to ignite, they were already there to stop it, to prevent it from happening to begin with. And it just shows, and I think I have discussed this a while back that Goiânia is a very safe city. Like it has a very low crime rate. It's not European level. It's not European levels of crime rate, but it's certainly lower than a lot of South American and Central American cities.
Wow. Okay.
So that's why it's important that there's always police presence somewhere in public spaces, in communities and cities.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, police, like, presence is definitely extremely important.
It sure is.
Yeah. So, what else is in the news?
Young farmers get their start in the industry in other ways.
Young farmers. Young farmers,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Young Canadians may not own the farmland or heavy machinery needed to launch traditional agriculture careers, but they are equipped with technology that's changing how they get their foot on the door, even when they don't come from farm families. Traditionally, many agriculture students come from rural areas and plan to take over a farm eventually.
Okay.
Now, more students from urban areas are joining agricultural programs at schools, and graduates are finding niche areas of the field.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad that there are some young farmers out there. I'm glad that there are people who still want to farm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I will say. Yeah, I will say this though. I wonder how long will farms actually last. I mean, I heard that for the most part people are they're trying to buy out farms and all that stuff and trying to just entirely get rid of farms. And I believe that farms are having a very important role to play in our society.
They do, yes.
Yeah, I mean they help us get fresh food. They grow crops. They sell those crops to local stores. So I gotta say this, man. It's I hope these young farmers can prosper because ultimately speaking, I believe that they serve a purpose, and I believe that they're definitely here for a reason. And for the most part, I can't say I mean, I'd say the future. I want to say the future looks bright for them, but I also have to be honest. Is it really bright, or are they doing? They doomed? I believe that they're fine now, but for the most part, it's in the future they're gonna have to really be careful because
Yeah,
they'll try to take everything away from them.
yes.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. What kind of hair? Hold on. I'm gonna get off topic for a minute. What kind of haircut is this that Trump had?
I don't. I, I, ugh.
You don't like it?
It's not. It's not that I hate it. It's just why? Why go for it?
I I have no idea.
I mean, it's getting reactions and getting attentions. I'll give him credit for that,
Like,
but
I'm sorry. Is that what kind of haircut is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be like a mohawk? Like, what is it?
I've seen a style like this before, but I just don't know what the name is.
Is it one of those gel back styles? What is it?
Maybe, could be,
I don't know, cause it's all I see is the hair cut on the sides and but the hair is still on the back. It's what is it supposed to be, a mullet of some sort?
possibly.
I don't know. But anyways, I'm not gonna lie. This is what my mom the other day was watching The View, and all they could really talk about was sex.
Again, they should have come to me because I have experiences with asking questions that really make my guests think, and it does not matter what the guest or what their charisma is. They always come up with interesting answers anyway, because it's the questions I ask them. If they come to me for that, in terms of what to discuss, maybe, it's not guaranteed, but maybe people on both sides of the aisle might be interested to watch for like a couple minutes, at minimum.
Hey, maybe you should send them an email and suggest them some questions, because
Yes.
it's I don't know, bro. It's outside of politics, they really I guess they have nothing really interesting to talk about. I mean, it was fun. It was kind of funny because it's I was only laughing because it's really, this is all you can come up with?
It's funny in
Sex?
a cringe way.
It's is sex better with the lights on or off? First off, okay.
It's so funny because it's so stupid.
First off, no offense to Whoopi, but I don't believe that she's actively getting sex. At least not now. Maybe when she was younger, I'm not sure, but I don't believe that Whoopi Goldberg is getting that at all in her. Maybe the other women. I'm not. Maybe the other women because, but I just don't believe that. The other women, however, they were fairly attractive. Obviously older, but fairly attractive. I believe that they probably do. But Whoopi, she's just. I mean, I'm not
She
gonna
had
lie.
her days.
Yeah, she had her days. Maybe back in the day, she did. I'm not sure. How old is she? In her.
I'm not too sure.
Matter of fact, let me check. She is almost 70.
Okay then.
She is 69. Talking about sex with the lights on or off.
Yeah, looks like the beams are gonna have a field day with that one.
Oh no. Okay. Whoopi, you're not getting sex. No offense. No. Anyway. And
Well, it had to be said anyway at some point.
yeah, it's she's just not.
Well, there's other things going on in her life that's worth a while.
She's been divorced 3 times. Yikes! Just yikes. Huh. Children. Alex Martin. Alex Martin is a girl.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, what else in the news?
Argentina chooses US investor to spur nuclear-powered AI dream.
AI dream. So,
Yeah, that's what they say. Shift to new reactor technology comes as Javier Milei aims to attract energy-intensive companies to cooler south.
I'm gonna say that one more time.
The shift to new reactor technology comes as Javier Milei aims to attract energy-intensive companies to cooler south.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what that's about.
Something about nuclear power, some sort.
I got that part. No, I got that part. But like the nuclear power is. Yeah, I don't really get it. What is it about?
So the president said, nuclear energy is the only source that is efficient, abundant, and rapidly scalable enough to cope with the development of our civilization. After decades of decline, nuclear energy will make its triumphant return, and we
Okay.
will not just stay behind, but we intend to be pioneers in this very task
With a.
with nuclear energy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like okay with energy. Okay. I thought it was with AI. I thought it was with AI because like you mentioned AI in the beginning.
Yeah, that's at least what the headline was. I'm not seeing any mention of artificial intelligence in any form as I see at the moment.
What was at the headline?
Oh, here we go. Weeks ago, during his speech of his first year at the head of the government, Milei had anticipated that the launch of this plan was imminent, which will allow the development of other technological areas such as artificial intelligence.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so I guess it was relevant in the headline.
Okay. I guess it was.
Yes, it sure was.
All right. Hold on. Let me see if there's any. He is a Zionist. No, no, I really don't care. Wait, what's that? Never mind. Never mind. I'll be honest. There's really nothing in the trending that's really popping out here. There's really nothing in the trending like on Twitter that's really popping out, or at least stuff that I care about. The Saudi terrorist in Germany is not a Muslim, nor he is an atheist. He's a Zionist. He's a Zionist. Oh yeah, I have heard about something going on in Germany where it's like I think a man pretty much ran his car over. I'm not sure if it was a car. I'm not sure if it was a car. I only heard that from one source, but I'm pretty sure there was this guy who did something in Germany.
Yeah, seems about right. At least E11, one report said that were declared dead after that, since that incident, and like 40, 50 people roughly were injured.
Mm, yeah, I think they just say he ran them over with his car, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, and what I have to say about that is what? Why? Just why?
why? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
All right, people are saying the Christian he is anti-Christianity, he's anti-Saudi Arabia, he is a Zionist, he is an immigrant, and he was in a car. So he's pretty much anti everything. But he tweeted out something that says the religion of God is Judaism. So people are now saying that he was Jewish.
Hmm.
So I'm like, all right. I'll be honest. I just wonder what possesses a person to want to do that. It's is it all for show, or is it do you genuinely have a mental illness of some sort?
It's very complicated. What the case could be.
I don't know. A lot of things were happening, and a lot of things happened this year, and the year's not even over yet.
Yeah, we got a couple more days of 2024 before the end of the catastrophic leap year.
I wonder what 2025 is going to bring us. What do you hope?
Well, it can't be bad as this year, because every leap year, something out of the ordinary, absolutely so wild, was bound to happen at some point. So whatever happens next year, there's still going to be unfortunate incidences going on, but they won't be as severe as what happened this year.
What do you look forward to next year? Actually, what do you look forward to accomplishing and achieving?
Well, it's my final year of uni, so I'm going to graduate, and there's already plans in store ready for when I take the global state the global stage, and of course, just put it out there, the elephant in the room, the project that we're working on with Shadow Miner.
Okay. Yeah, I look forward to the project we're working on with Shadow Miner as well. Shadow Miner as well. I mean, I think that should definitely be taken off somewhere in 2025 though. Like
Yeah,
definitely, I hope it is because I'm looking.
yeah, it certainly will. It's set to go.
All right, yeah, it's I'm looking forward to that project as well, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to I'm just looking forward to well, for one, I'd want to grow in my faith, and two, I'd probably want to move from New York, or I don't know if I'm still in New York, I'd want to move somewhere better. I mean, I've been in this same apartment for years, so it's let's see where else is where else I can go. And I think I'm going to try to look into I think I'm going to try to look into jobs in regard jobs in regards to I'm going to try to look into the pro life the pro life sphere as far as jobs go. And as far as I'm gonna try to see the perspectives of I'm gonna try to do more research on the pro life perspective and the abolishist because there's hold on. Okay. I'm back. I'm anyways, like I was saying, I'm pretty much going to try to look into the pro life perspective and abolishist. I think that's what it's called. Hold on, abolishist. Yes, abolishist. Okay. Perspective as far as they go with getting rid of abortion because honestly, not gonna lie, I think that's a career path that I'd like to pursue because I don't really believe that from the United States is I don't think that the United States would ban abortion entirely and and if it does happen I wouldn't even be worried about being out of a job or whatnot. But I do believe that that's where I do believe as far as fighting for unborn children is where my life would be. My life is leading me right now because it's I think that would be a great way to help out society and help out women who are clearly contemplating on it and just try to change their minds. Even if a man is contemplating on it as well, it would be a great opportunity to help him change his mind on abortion too. And so less people are having it. And once again, I'm not worried about I think in the day and time that we live in, I don't think it'll be abolished entirely in the United States because it's there are a lot of people who will fight for that right for some reason. So I will say this: the best thing that we can possibly do is steer people into the right direction and just help them realize that yeah, it's murder, it's wrong, and you shouldn't. And pretty much, it's a baby that's growing in your body is not your body. It's another when you have a life growing inside of you. That's a separate life from your body. Yes, you're helping it grow. You're helping it. You're giving it a place to stay for the next couple of months of your life, but ultimately speaking, it's not you, it's not your body. It's a little person inside your body. So I'd like to do something in regards to that. I'd like to contribute to the fight in terms of helping people see the light and realize that because I think that'd be great. And so if I can pursue a career in that, that'd be awesome. And I would say that would be my success story. And as far as wrestling goes too, it's I don't know. I had a dream. I had a dream, and it's I don't think God wants me to pursue that because it's but I'm gonna keep praying and seeing what would happen because I truly do believe I had a dream last night. It's yeah, I don't think that I should pursue that. I don't know. That's pretty much what the dream was telling me not to do that because I just think that there's something that can happen. There's something that can happen God was warning me about something. It's not that I would be stopped from pursuing it, but it's you really have to think. But That's what I hope to accomplish in 2025. That's what I hope to. Let's see if I can, and if I can.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know. But I think the abortion thing is like definitely, I wouldn't mind if that was my career. I wouldn't mind being an advocate for that or an activist of some sort for that movement, for the pro life movement, and for like the protection of children. Honestly, I think that's where I think that's where I belong the most, and other stuff too. I think I mentioned moving too, but yeah,
yeah,
stuff like that. But yeah, and if there's any other things that I can accomplish in 2025, well, God willing, it'll happen. But I'm not really worried about what's gonna happen though, because I know that it's gonna be a great year, and I'm gonna only grow more. I'm only gonna grow in faith more, and honestly, I'm just going to just keep on. I'm just gonna keep on pushing and trying to bring more people to the truth, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, 2025 is definitely bound to be a great year. I wonder what Risk is gonna do. But we could probably ask him when he's on again, when he gets on again. But hey, I have no doubt that next year is gonna be far from perfect. But it's also, I don't believe it's gonna be like the worst year of my life. And if it is the worst year of my life, then that'd be unfortunate. But yeah,
yeah,
let's see what happens. 2025.
yeah.
Anyways, anything else in the news?
Arrest Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci for injecting the world with HIV and cancer. A headline reads, Japan's most senior cancer doctor. COVID shots are, quote, essentially murder, he says.
I'm not gonna lie. For the people who survived, for the people who lived after getting the shot, did you get the shot?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. For the people who did get the shot, including myself, it's like if it is like if it is like then it's really a blessing that we're all still alive today. Then it really is, because
Yes,
I'm pretty sure it the shot definitely affected other people in like a very negative way. But I don't know. It didn't really affect me, or didn't really affect you. It didn't really affect Risk. So it's like I'd say it's definitely a blessing that we're all still here. And
absolutely.
yeah, I'd say if I would say for the next shot, obviously I'm not gonna get it, but I'm obviously not gonna get the next shot. And well, if I have to, then well, I mean, if it costs me my job, then it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But ultimately speaking, it's like,
Maybe it's meant to be.
yeah, exactly. Maybe it's meant to be. Then I can try to do something else, obviously. But as far as that goes, it's like I'm hoping. I'm obviously hoping that a lot of people are awake to the point, including wherever I decide to work. They're awake to the point where it's like not to trust just any shot that is injected inside of them, but instead to just simply go off go off of the effects. I would say if it's proven to be safe, then okay, fine. But you know, obviously, if it's like a whole new vaccination and you're just injecting it in your body without even knowing what's in it, then yeah, ultimately speaking, it's like you're dumb. And I'd say most people, including myself, were pretty dumb to take that shot. But ultimately speaking, I'm just glad that we're all here. I am. And honestly, I don't really know what's gonna happen next. But hey, whatever happens next, maybe it was meant to happen. But so far I've been going. So far, I've been pretty strong. Nothing big has happened, and I'm praying that nothing bad happens to me moving forward. And I pray that my body is strong enough to at least fight fight off whatever was in there. But yeah, that's just my perspective. Yeah, but how do you feel about this shot being deadly to people?
Well, I can't say I'm not surprised, because we don't know until it's too late. Also, I think it's just a reason to prove to people that whatever's prescribed to you and what we say is going to tackle whatever you're dealing with, it's not going to go away. It only temporarily disables the negative side of the negative pain. It's like the cure for cancer. They made the cure for cancer, but they're not going to give it to everyone, because if everyone is immediately cured from cancer, that's it. The cure is deemed useless.
Mm.
But creating something that step by step tackles at least portions of the issue, you're pretty much billing people along the way. That's how the healthcare industry stays afloat.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's not about directly tackling the illness in question. You're going step by step until you get what you were wanting to achieve, and eradicating whatever's making you ill or unwell.
I would say this for the most part. I would 100% agree with you. And the only reason why I had to take the shot was because I thought I was going. I thought I was going to college, but it turns out I wasn't, because I don't know, a lot of things honestly went wrong. So, but I 100% agree with what you said, though. Definitely, you just have to be like, vigilant on, like, what you take, and on what you put
Yes,
and on what you put in your body.
indeed.
Yeah. How long have we been going for? Like an hour?
Yeah, over an hour now.
Okay, gotcha. So, is there anything else in the news?
Amazon indigenous community wins latest stage of court battle for lost territory.
Say that one more time.
Amazon indigenous community wins latest stage of court battle for lost territory.
Lost territory. What territory did they lose? Exactly.
Uh, it's somewhere in territory that was lost due to deforestation. I think that's all I can think of. Like,
Oh.
for years, deforestation has been pretty common in the Amazon. Mostly in the Amazon. There's other places, but mostly in the Amazon, you always hear about deforestation. And because of that, the indigenous people had to keep moving from place to place where they wouldn't be bothered by people from the outside world.
Hmm. Okay. So, how long have they been fighting for this territory exactly?
Well, I think I could remember it was roughly in the 90s where things got a lot heated in terms of the Amazon losing vegetation. I saw something like there was one part of land that a lot of Amazon forestation was just eradicated completely, and the rate of deforestation is still going on to this day. But it's not as rapid as it was before. And
Got, got.
there are people speaking out against the deforestation because, well, what's the point getting rid of the Amazon for land that we're not going to use at all? Because I understand we have to make land to have homes being built, businesses to go to, and whatever that requires land. But if we're just getting parts of the Amazon rainforest and not using the land that's been deforested, what's even the point of deforestation to begin with?
That's true. That is absolutely true. Exactly. What is the point of it if we're not going to use it? And the point of it is nothing. Then it's completely useless if we're just not going to use it. I'd say if we have it, we might as well use it. We might as well use it for something, because there's no way I'm going to be wasting land just to sit on it and do nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, so it's like, you just gotta find some use for that land. Even if you have a fruit stand, come on, have some use for it. Like, even if you just have a basic fruit stand and you're just selling fruit, do something with it. I don't know. Even if you build a house on it, do something with it. The point is, all your hard work won't just go to nothing. But yeah, that's pretty much my perspective on it. It's like, just use it for something. That's all you have to do. Anything else in the news, or
Yes, Google says it won't force Gemini on partners in antitrust remedy proposal.
Gemini?
Yes, it's Google's ChatGPT equivalent.
I didn't even know they had that. I didn't even know they had a ChatGPT equivalent in general. Why is it called Gemini? That's what I want to know. Isn't that
That,
like a zodiac sign?
yeah, that is a zodiac sign.
specifically, why is it called Gemini? Did the creator have birthday? Was the creator a Gemini or something? Like, bro, I'm not,
I don't know, man.
I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna use a Chat GBT alternative called Gemini. But whatever. It's a, you know, tell me more about it.
All right. Google dominated the last era of search, like it has. Now, the company and the US Justice Department are battling over how to set a fair playing field for generative AI.
Hmm. Okay. How do you think the playing field? How do you think the playing field should be set?
Well, from the top of my head, I think it comes down to the ability the AI has and what it's training on. Because ChatGPT, it's training off publicly available information. Now, same could be said for Gemini, but it's not clear on that from what I've seen. But I think if AI is going to be introduced to the world, there has to be some acknowledgement of what risks there could be if the AI is implemented. Because already, the discussions about AI is bad enough. People thinking that it would become so advanced it could take out jobs. Well, it's not going to be like that if people don't keep programming the AI to do that. I think there has to be some limits on how far AI can progress, but at the same time, use the AI that exists now to further evaluate, possibly, and I hope so, to train people in a specific workforce to do their jobs efficiently and effectively as possible. Because if an AI is smart enough to do the job effectively and efficiently, why not use that AI to train the workers who are getting to that field and they learn from the AI what it does for them to implement the techniques in the workforce to speed up the process of whatever is being produced or provided.
Hmm. That's a really good point there. You really have to. It really comes down to like how capable each AI like generated application is. So I'd say determining off that which one is the best and which one is like the most reliable to use. That's really all it comes down to. And so I mean, in order to pick the best, I don't really know what the best one is. Have you used Gemini before?
I have never used Gemini, ever.
Got you. So we don't even really know if it's any good.
Exactly.
Okay. So,
I've seen TikTok videos saying that whatever Gemini says is completely wild and out of pocket.
wild and out of pocket. Like how so?
Like I think there was this one video that described what the AI was like. So this guy asked one question like, "What should I do on the first date?" ChatGPT says, take her out to the movies." Another AI, whose name I do not remember, says, "Invite you over to your house and watch a rom-com on Netflix." And then Gemini is like, "I'm not sure what it was, but I tried to try not to go too far because that's how wild it was. Something along the lines of wrap her up and beat the crap out of it.
What the
Something like that."
wrap her up? What the and beat the crap out of her? What kind of
That's exactly what the joke is with Gemini.
is Gem?
You give it a question, you give it a question, its response is neither helpful nor realistic.
Is this supposed to be like a joking AI version? Like, bro, what is this?
I don't think they intend it to be a joke, but what people making TikToks about Gemini, it looks like it's having a laugh.
So you can ask them a straightforward question, and then they can give you the opposite.
Yeah, they give you an answer, neither useful nor realistic.
I feel
At least, and especially something that would break a couple laws.
I don't know, man. I feel like some people there are just having fun. Bro. They're just
Yeah,
like doing
that's
some. I think they're doing something. bat down there, man. But like, I think they're just simply having fun and just saying, "Oh, let's give them a nonsensical answer," and then that pops up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone might get fired for that. But other than that, it's like, hey, it sounds fun. But I'm not gonna do it because I'm not that bored. All right.
Yeah, but even I at times are bored, but even I would go that far.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far to wrap her up
Wrap her up and beat the crap out of her.
for.
Like, no, you can't do that.
I mean, in the confines of sex, if that's what you're into, fine. But as long as you guys are,
But not on the first date.
you're not on the
What
first.
happened to making first impressions?
Yeah, that's true.
Good grief.
And I would suggest, like, I don't know, maybe going to getting a coffee, then maybe seeing a movie. Okay, movies. They're expensive, but they ain't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, like, for the most part, maybe you should maybe you should hang out with her somewhere else first, then go to the movies. Cause I don't know. It's like movies are cool, but it's like you're not really gonna be talking to her very much.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like get to know her a bit, then go to the movies, and then
exactly.
you guys could probably just comment on how good or bad the movie is together.
Absolutely.
I mean, because at least you'll be talking. And if she's scared of the movie, and if even though you're not, and you don't see what's scary about it, you can hold her. You can just like make sure that she's okay, and yeah, pretty much. It's like just get to know the girl first. Movies, and for a first date at home, watching a movie that could work. That could work. I mean, you're at home. It could work, but at the same time, that's probably not what I would suggest. You still want to get to know the girl, and watching a movie is not gonna get you to know the girl unless it's just like a one night stand. You guys are just gonna be fooling around fooling around during the movie. Unless it's the one night stand, and fine. But other than that, it's like, bro, you got to get to know the girl if you really see a future with her. That's just my perspective, though. Anything else, or is that it?
That's us.
All right.